teenage girl comes home from school and asks her mother, "Is it true what Rita just told me? That babies come out of the same place where boys put their dicks?" "Yes, dear," replies her mother, pleased that the subject has finally come up and she won't have to explain it to her daughter. "But when a baby's actually born," responded the teenager, "how does it get past your teeth?" A man went to the police station wishing to speak with the burglar who had broken into his house the night before. "You'll get your chance in court," said the desk sergeant. No, insisted the man. "I want to know how he got into the house without waking my wife. I've been trying to do that for years." A man meets a gorgeous woman in a bar. They talk, they connect, and they end up leaving together. They go back to her place. And as she shows him around her apartment, he notices that the bedroom is completely packed with teddy bears. Hundreds of small bears are on the low shelf, medium-sized one on the shelf a little higher, and huge bears are on the top shelf. The man is kinda surprised that this woman would have a collection of teddy bears, especially one that's so extensive, but he decides not to mention this to her. After a night of passion, as they are lying together in the afterglow, the man rolls over and asks, smiling, "Well, how was it?" The woman says, "You can have any price from the bottom shelf." The manager hired a new secretary. She was young, sweet, and polite. One day while taking dictation, she noticed his fly was open. While leaving the room, she courteously said, "Oh, sir, did you know that your barracks door was open?" He did not understand her remark, but later on happened to look down and saw that his zipper was open. He decided to have some fun with his new employee. Calling her in, he asked, "By the way, Miss Jones, when you saw my barracks door open this morning, did you also see a soldier standing to attention?" The secretary, who was very witty, replied, "Why no, sir. All I saw was a little disabled veteran sitting on 2 duffel bags." In a small town, the patrolman was making his evening rounds. As he was checking a used car lot, he came upon 2 little old ladies sitting in a used car. He stopped and asked them why they were sitting in the car. Were they trying to steal it? "Heavens no, we bought it," said the old ladies. "Then why don't you drive it away?" "We can't drive." "Then why did you buy it?" "We were told that if we brought a car here we'd get screwed. So we're just waiting." A nurse was on duty in the emergency department when a punk rocker entered. The patient had purple hair plus a variety of tattoos and strange clothing. It was quickly determined that the patient had acute, so she scheduled for immediate surgery. When the patient was completely disrobed on the operating table, the surgeons noticed that her pubic hair had been dyed green, and just above it was a tattoo that read, "Keep off the grass." After the surgical procedure was completed, the surgeon added a small note to the wound's dressing that said, "Sorry, had to mow the lawn." An Israeli doctor said, "Medicine in my country is so advanced we can take a kidney out of one person, put it in another, and have him looking for work in 6 weeks." A German doctor said, "That's nothing. In Germany, we can take a lung out of one person, put it in another, and have him looking for work in 4 weeks." A Russian doctor said, "In my country, medicine is so advanced, we can take half a heart from one person, put it in another, and have them both looking for work in 2 weeks." The American doctor, not to be outdone, said, "Ha! We took out an asshole out of Texas, put him in the White House, and half the country will be looking for work tomorrow." talk of the town when an 80-year-old man married a 20-year-old girl. After a year, she went to a hospital to give birth. The nurse came out to congratulate the guy. "This is amazing. How do you do it at your age?" He answered, "You've got to keep that old motor running." The following year, she gave birth again. The same nurse said, "You really are amazing. How do you do it?" He again said, "You've got to keep the old motor running." The same thing happened the next year. The nurse said, "You must be quite a man." He responded, "You've got to keep that old motor running." The nurse said, "Well, you had better change the oil. This one's black." Guy walks into a bar and sees a sign that reads, "Hamburger $1, cheeseburger $2, job $3. He calls to the attractive blonde behind the counter. "Can I help you?" she asks with a smile. "I was wondering," whispers the man, "are you the one who gives the jobs?" "Yes," she purrs. "I am." "Well, wash your hands," he says. "I want a cheeseburger." Woman with a really hairy underarms boards a crowded bus. Unable to find a seat, she settles for hanging onto one of the poles. A drunk man next to her stares at her for 3 minutes, then tells her, "I love a woman who does aerobics." The woman replies angrily, "I don't do aerobics." The drunk man then looks at the woman and says, "Then how did you get your leg up so high?" One day, a pregnant wife announced to her husband that she was going to start looking for names for their unborn child. When the father got home from work, the mother held up a baby book and said that if the baby was a girl, the name was going to be Ophelia. The husband didn't like the name, but he said, "That's a good name. It reminds me of a girl I dated in college." The next day, the mother had changed the name to Sarah. "Wife of mine is a liar," said the angry husband to a sympathetic pal seated next to him in a bar. "How do you know?" the friend asked. "She didn't come home last night, and when I asked her where she'd been, she said she had spent the night with her sister Shirley." "So?" the friend replied. "So she's a liar. I spent the night with her sister Shirley."